Grew up in a jazz household. My father was a very fine jazz musician, saxophone, flute, clarinet, also a good journalist. And he got a job early on combining the two, reviewing the latest jazz albums, jazz releases for the newspaper that he worked for. So he'd bring home the best Miles Davis, John Coltrane, latest albums, and play them for me and sit me right there. And one day I remember he brought home this fantastic new album by Sonny Rollins, probably 1959, I was about 5, and this great song, St. Thomas, was on the album. And you know, I was just a kid, I was bouncing around and dancing to this incredible calypso rhythm, calypso song. And I forgot about the song for a long time after that. I just remembered it was sort of deep in my subconscious. Then I went through high school. We moved to England. I grew up as a teenager in England. Dad took me to many other jazz clubs and jazz concerts and so on. I never sort of thought about that song again. And then later in my 20s, I became a professional jazz musician. I was then playing alto sax, tenor sax, and flute, actually against the better wishes of my father. He did not want me to become a professional musician. He said, you'll end up, it'll become just like another job for you. You'll lose the love that you have for it right now. And he thought he had the perfect world, combining his skills as a journalist, that's how he made his money, but playing jazz every night with great bands all over, you know, all over town, all over Brisbane, all over London and so on. Anyway, so then I heard the song again in my 20s. I bought a double album, the best of this company, Prestige, and on it came St. Thomas, and I remember what a great tune it was. By that stage, I was playing far more aggressive, free form of jazz, very unstructured, lots of sort of weird improvisation and so on. But that reminded me that I enjoyed both worlds of jazz. You know, I enjoyed the sort of more structured, rhythmic, harmonic sense of these sort of hard bop tunes, as well as free jazz. So we started playing the tune, even though the band was not really that sort of band. We started playing the tune. I started to play with my father. We had a band together for quite a while. We travelled all over Australia playing together. So he and I were the two front line players, two sax players, and we also played flutes and clarinets and so on, with a really good rhythm section, piano, bass and drums behind us. And so I got to play this tune with my dad every night. And because it's such an upbeat, happy song, it's a great final number, right? It's the great last number to leave the audience really in a great mood. So for years we played that tune as our final number. So for that reason alone, it's incredibly special to me. So we played together probably 10 to 15 years in Australia. And then I moved over here, I moved to the States, and so we didn't play together anymore, obviously, except when I'd go back occasionally. And he passed away about 5 years ago now. And his rhythm section, the band we used to play with, came to the funeral, and so I got up on stage and played. And of course, you can imagine the song that I played, you know, at Dad's funeral. So his coffin was there, and his instruments are right there on top of the coffin and so on. And so I used his flute and played two songs. Played "Song for My Father," which is a classic sort of hard bop jazz tune by Horace Silver, and of course had to play St. Thomas. So it's like our final chorus together, you know, with St. Thomas. So it's a very special tune to me, and it always will be a very special tune to me.